This is episode 51 of Alternative Fact Chicago, the #1 podcast in all of the city of Chicago. This is B.Hun back with the homie B.Chan. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, B?
I'm doing great. It's actually been a busy day, a busy week, but always my favorite time of the week to get back on and record with you. So I'm excited about that.
I know it's not as fun when we're not popping champagne together, but this will have to do for now.
Absolutely. So we got a lot to discuss. We got a very special interview, a short interview a little bit later in the episode. So right now, I think we should get right to it and plug our social media. You think that's a good idea?
I guess it is.
Yeah, we're going to have to. So let's roll right with it. So my Twitter and Instagram is B.Hun1984. And what's your social media, B?
My social media, Twitter and Instagram are Starbright312.
And then back in regards to Alternative Fact Chicago, you can email us always at alternativefactchicago@gmail.com for sponsorship ideas, show B&B or business questions. We are in the works for a brand new sponsor that we'll be announcing very soon. Also, you can find us on iTunes at Alternative Fact Chicago. Make sure you subscribe. Definitely still leave a rating and review. Please do so if you have not as of yet. Our Instagram and Facebook is Alternative Fact Chicago. Our Twitter is AFact Chicago. You can also find us on Podbean, Google Play, YouTube, and we'll have a special announcement here in a minute where you can brand new find us as well. So we're pretty excited about that.
Super excited even.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give a brief rundown of our last week's episode. Who was our guest and how do you think it went? I thought it was an awesome episode.
It really was. We want to thank Jenna Gambasini of Shy City Fashion for joining us in the studio. We had an awesome time sitting down with her, talking about the things that she's doing in terms of pioneering more changes and lots of focus on fashion in Chicago, which is huge. Of course, it's exciting for us as we feel like Chicago gets kind of the short end of the stick of things, and it really is a city as amazing as any other. So Jenna's doing awesome things to highlight fashion in Chicago. She was great to have on the show. She was so much fun. She did a lot with us, including show B&B Your Business. So she was a lot of fun, and I know we look forward to connecting with her and working with her in the future. So we want to thank Jenna for coming on and sharing her time with us.
Yeah, Jenna was awesome. She did a great job. She's very funny, had a warm personality. Definitely was easy to talk to, easy to get along with. She fit right in. I even joked for a moment. I thought we had a third co-host of Alternative Fact.
I thought you were replacing me. I thought you said now we have a new girl.
No.
Get this B.Chan out of here. Let's replace her.
Do you want to get replaced or what?
No.
Absolutely not. That would never happen. But Jenna, obviously, having her own podcast in the past, and she just seemed very comfortable, being on air in front of a microphone. So, yeah, I thought it was a great discussion. It was overall a great episode for our 50th anniversary special. So, once again, we want to thank all of the fans for helping us get to 50 episodes. And now we're at 51, so we got 50 more to go and 50 more to go after that.
That's right. We got a lot of episodes going. So, thank you again to Jenna. It was an awesome way to celebrate the 50th. And remember, reach out to her. We've tagged her all over social media, not just in regards to fashion, but in regards to Chicago tips. She loves food. She loves to give visitors highlights and things they should see. So keep her in mind if you're coming to visit the city.
And a big thing about Alternative Fact Chicago, obviously we have our podcast, we have our weekly show. The one thing that B.Chan and I want to always do and always stress is that this is not going to be the only place you can always hear from us. This will be the drawback, end all, be all, where you can hear our show and our episodes. But the big thing that we like to do about Alternative Fact Chicago is we like to be out in the streets. We like to touch the people, whether it's events, concerts, wing out fests, anything you can name it, panel sessions, live shows. And with that being said, we are very, very, very proud to announce and be part of this next special event. So should I give the announcement? Do you want me to do it? Do you want to do it, B, or should I?
I think you should, but let me give a little preview. This is something that I know was kind of on a list, kind of, what do they call them? those boards where you kind of put your what you'd like to do on. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
goal list or like bucket list
Like your
type thing?
idea boards. Yeah, but they say like vision boards. That's what they call it. Like
Right.
positive thinking people make a vision board, and these are the things you want to do and speak it into existence. And when I first met B, we were about to have a guest on the show, and I hope it's okay that I share this. And B had said, we attended an event. Him and Bobby, the previous co-host, had attended an event from this person, and he said, you know what? Someday I'm going to be a presenter at that event. And I kind of was like, all right, like that's a really good goal to have and sounds good. And let's get there. And now B's going to tell you where we are.
Well, this is amazing. I'm very proud that Alternative Fact Chicago gets to be part of this. So, recently we had Nick Brown. He's the CEO of Glappitnova. He was previously a guest on Alternative Fact Chicago. Amazing dude, great dude. But as we mentioned, he puts on Glappitnova, just not in Chicago, but all across the country, various events. And if, like I said, if you don't remember, Glappitnova is an event of like getting different types of people together, perspectives into a space, and just unlocking human potential, whether it's music, sports, entertainment, people of all types of visions, celebrities, non-celebrities, just cool people, people with great vision, insights, that are great content creators. There's people that just think outside the box, whether storytelling, performances, panels, installations, visions, whatever it may be. So Glappinova in 2017 was a one-day event. Bobby and I went. We were on the other side. We were just a guest there. Just got to see the whole vibe. And we thought that one day it would be great to be part of this for the city of Chicago because it's a great event. So now in 2018, Glappinova is 3 days, not just one day. So July 17th through the 19th. And what we have been invited to do, we've been asked to moderate a podcast panel session at Glappinova. So this is our official announcement. Hot off the press. No one knows about this. This is an amazing idea. We're going to be hosting like a 55 to 1 hour minute, 55 to 1 hour panel session. It's actually going to be at Moonlight Studios from 9:30 to 10:30. It's quick and easy events. We're going to ask all of our either fans or most importantly, the Chicago podcast community to come out there because we do have 3 other great podcasts that are actually 2 other great podcasts that are going to be on the session. We're going to be talking about the art of podcasting, uniting the podcasting community, and just overall talking about all the issues that we may face. So this is an amazing honor, an amazing opportunity to be a presenter, to actually be a participant for Glappinova this year. We're very honored to be there. Thanks, Nick Brown, for the opportunity, and we're excited to get there, plan this, and make this a great event for all that is involved.
Yeah, we are super humbled to have been considered to be moderating this podcast panel. We're really excited. The podcasts that are going to be there presenting offer a wide variety of different perspectives in terms of podcasting in Chicago. We can share one of the presenters actually is a producer of the Chicago Podcast Festival that puts on live shows for podcasters in Chicago. So not only is it a great opportunity to get information, hear ideas, but to network. It's our intention to make it an interactive event. And that's kind of what's cool about Glappitnova is even though there's kind of presenters and attendees, it's really kind of all blended together as people just experiencing things. I describe the idea as hippy dippy in the most positive way possible, that it's really just a cool, new, groundbreaking idea. So as B said, we encourage hopefully our listeners in Chicago and really importantly, other podcasts in the area to consider coming out for the event for some really exciting opportunities to network, gain ideas, talk about challenges, talk about successes, and share ideas more importantly than anything. So over the coming days and weeks, we will have information about it. We will have promo codes and ideas and ways to purchase tickets. We hope you'll consider attending. It is July 17th. The podcast portion is 9:30 to 10:30 p.m., but there will be other things going on that evening as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, Glappinova is a dope event. Like I said, if you've never been to it, just go. Some of the coolest people you'll meet in the city of Chicago are there. People just in great vibes. There's drinks flowing, creative minds around. There's different,
Did
panel
you say
sessions and
drinks?
things going on. So, like I said, we've talked about this quite a bit. We'll give you more details on social media for the next couple of weeks leading up to the event. Like B just said, we'll have 2 different promo codes for the entire event. We'll also have a promo code for our actual event on July 17th as well. So, once again, shouts out to Nick Brown. Shouts out to Glappinova. It's an amazing event. They're going to start doing press releases very soon, and we're just honored to be able to moderate and host a podcast panel session for the city of Chicago. It's just a great feat. It's a great honor, and we're very proud and thankful to be involved with it.
Absolutely. So Thank you for that. You'll hear more from us about that, but we were just excited to be able to announce it today. So hopefully you'll follow along with us and join us there. Yeah.
What's our next announcement? We got more in the chamber.
Announcements, and then we're going to move on to some exciting stuff. But the next announcement, really important. If you follow us on social media, you've probably seen me talking about it. We are now available on Spotify. So we've talked a lot about how our listeners stream music, stream podcasts, things like that. Finally, after a few month-long wait, Alternative Facts Chicago can be found on Spotify. Search for us there. We will start tweeting out and Instagramming and sharing links through Spotify, but we're really excited that we have the opportunity to be on their platform, which is a huge growing platform in terms of music and podcasts.
Spotify is amazing. Like I said, I've been trying to get B.Chan on Spotify forever, but at this point, I think it's a lost cause because she said she has too much music on Apple Music and downloads to ever be able to do it. But I'm going to convince her one day.
Yes, that's correct. But in the meantime, we hope all of our Spotify lovers will find us on there and listen to us on Spotify. As we said, it's been in the works in progress in literally months. One of the first things when B.Hun and I met when I came on the show officially was a checklist of things we wanted to accomplish. We got Podbean set up, which feeds to Spotify, and then they said you have to wait. So really excited to be on there. Look for us on there if you are a Spotify user.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Obviously, with iTunes, obviously the podcast platform is the biggest on there. Spotify is becoming the second biggest platform. You know, if you're any and everything in the podcast community, you want your podcast on Spotify. So many people have it. You can listen to us right next to your favorite rapper now. So I just think it's a cool, dope thing that we're actually on Spotify now. It's actually pretty awe-inspiring to see. And I always tell people, write your goals down. They'll bring your visions to life. And it's just crazy to see that all the things we wanted to do this year is slowly but surely happening. And it's only been 6 months into 2018. Spotify was one of them. So thank you to Spotify. Thank you to Podbean for helping us out, get us on there as well, too. So you can always find any and every episode from here going forward. And I think 15 of the past episodes are now on Spotify. So you can check us out on there at Alternative Facts Chicago.
Fantastic. So let's move on to my favorite segment. I know you like Clown of the Week. I like Fan of the Week. Sometimes they're probably the same person.
Right.
Right. Let's move on to Fan of the Week.
Fan of the Week. I got to do this one. This is my guy. This is my.
Okay, well, it had my name next to it, but that's fine. You go ahead and do this.
I got to do this, and I'm so sorry to cut you off. This is my guy. I've known him for many years. He's been a fan of the show from day one. You can find him on Twitter. My guy, Brandon Bowen. You can find him at B.Hun B.Owen _arrow ARROW7. He's always on social media. He's he's a class clown on social media, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter. Always clowning, making jokes. Listens to every episode. Gives us our thoughts and feedback. I know you love him. He always jokes around with you too. So quickly, I know we got to move on, but I got to give a quick shout out to our homie Brandon Bowen. He is our fan of the week this week for Alternative Facts Chicago. What do you got to say about Brandon B?
I love Brandon. He calls us Blackie and Jackie Chan. He always comes up. He is clever. He always comes up with funny names for me, which for some reason it makes me very happy. I want to come up with clever names for him, and I never do. So with that said, we love him listening. We love him supporting us, tweeting us, interacting with us, sharing his thoughts on the show. And most importantly, him and I are going to live tweet Hard Knocks all season long with our guy Baker Mayfield. That's what I'm most excited for. Mark your calendars, August 7th. It's going to be awesome. So shout out to our fan of the week, B. Bowen. Brandon, thank you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Great work.
All right, so let's move on to some topics. Yeah.
Finally, I know we had a lot of announcements. Those are great announcements for all the fans. We just like to let our fans know what's going on in our lives, in the show, around the show, just to keep you guys up to breast as our day-to-day as we take Alternative Facts Chicago, obviously outside of just being number one in the city of Chicago, but being number one nationally, because that's our plan, and it's going to happen.
Here we are. Okay, so it's not going to happen.
You want to talk some NFL. I know you're really, really excited about that, right?
Okay, I tweeted earlier, like, I'm going over the agenda, and I'm like, oh my gosh, football. I am so excited.
It is. And now that, NBA's over, NHL's over, NBA draft's over, we're pretty much stuck with baseball. And I love baseball, don't get me wrong, former college baseball player, but it's pretty tough to watch in the dog days of summer. So it's a time to really can get excited about college football and NFL season coming very, very soon. And with that being said, this story kind of got swept under the rug, but NFL, they did release recently their top 100 players of 2018. Let me know that football season is right around the corner. I'm very excited about it. I know you're very excited about it. If you did not, make sure you check out the list because we're about to discuss it right now. But B.Chan, what are your highlights, lowlights, and what did you think of this list overall?
Okay, so I feel like it is important to notate this NFL Network NFL Top 100 Players is put together by the actual players of the NFL. So it's a survey that's sent out to the players. The players vote, and it is any player who's not going to be retired in the future year is eligible to vote. So I think when we kind of knock the list or support the list, we have to remember who's voting. Couple highlights I wanted to mention. Something I thought was terrible was Carson Wentz coming in at number 3 as the top 100 player. If you are on a team who goes on to win the Super Bowl without you, I don't think you can be the number 3 top 100 player. I mean, am I wrong? Like,
Great
if your
point.
team can win the Super Bowl without you, sorry, you can't be number 3 because you're clearly replaceable. With that said, everyone knows I'm an Eagles hater. I actually like Carson Wentz, so this is unbiased. But I just you can be number 3 top player if your team can win the Super Bowl without you, right?
I agree with that. He was one of my red flags. Like, I don't know how he got to be number 3. He's kind of like the flavor of the past 6 months to a year. Like he just shot up all the charts right now. I think is more so his team is great as opposed to he is great. Don't get me wrong, he's a really good player, but I think we need to hold the phones on Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I think he is great. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he's likable, which probably plays into this as you're talking about other players voting. A couple more highlights that I thought were good. My guy, CMU, Antonio Brown, coming in at number 2. Probably my favorite non-Dallas Cowboy player in the league. So I was excited to see him at number 2 because I love him. Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints coming in at number 20, I thought was awesome because he was a guy who really was under the radar prior to the year. About halfway through, 3/4 of the way through the year, in terms of fantasy stats and things like that, he shot right up. So happy to see him coming in at number 20. Couple things I thought were interesting or concerning was Jimmy Garoppolo. There were 16 quarterbacks that were on the list. Jimmy Garoppolo was one of them at number 90. He only started 5 games. He went 5-0. I think Jimmy G is going to be a good quarterback. He's out of Western Illinois, so you know we have to love him. But I thought it was interesting to have a quarterback who only started 5 games, being ranked in the top 100 overall players, and one of 16 quarterbacks that were ranked. I thought was interesting. And of course, I have to mention my Dallas Cowboy, Travis Frederick,
Who?
arguably Travis Frederick,
Who is that?
excuse me, B.Hun, he is arguably the best center in the league. So you have a player who is the best at his position in the league, and he was not ranked at all. And I'm furious.
Because he's a center.
But if you are the best at your position, to not have one spot in the top 100, terrible. Also, the highest ranking.
Maybe my theory is that maybe the NFL players don't care as much about Cowboys players as the fans care as much about Cowboys players. How about that?
I think you're probably right. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and highlight who voted on this. And I am almost done. I just wanted to say it was interesting to me that the highest ranking defensive player was Aaron Donald, who was ranked at number 7. So the top 6 players were all offensive side of the ball. Aaron Donald ranked at number 7. What I thought was crazy and interesting, Khalil Mack, one of the best defensive players, was all the way down at 16. So those were my highlights, my lowlights, my ending. And of course, we have to mention your boy, TB12, Tom Brady, coming in at number 1 again.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see that at his age, in his 40s, that his peers still respect him to be the number 1 player. I think it was awesome. I think it's still warranted. Obviously, came off 2 Super Bowls in a row, won 2 years ago, lost last year, still played very good in the Super Bowl that he lost, so he's still playing at a high level. So I wouldn't disagree that he should be number 1 still. I wouldn't disagree that Antonio Brown should still also be number 2. I mean, he's just at the top of his game. He's amazing. In regards to some of my highlights and lowlights, you said you were surprised that Jimmy G was actually at number 90. I actually thought that was kind of low. Obviously, Jimmy G has only started in 7 games, but the impact he made was crazy. And a lot of times, quarterbacks get viewed much differently than other players in the NFL. They just seem much more important. They're usually usually win more MVPs. So I was kind of surprised about that, but I thought he might have even been higher on the list. So I'm glad he was at least featured, even if it was number 90. J.J. Watt being at number 84 was a huge surprise. Like, I don't care if he missed most of last season for being injured. When J.J. Watt's healthy, I think he's a top 10, a top 15 player overall in the NFL. I just think his impact is way bigger than being number 84. So I'm not sure what that is or what the players think about him, but I think that's almost a snub being at number 84. What do you think about that? Do you think that was warranted, or is that pretty low?
I think it's a health issue. I love JJ Watt. In addition to Antonio Brown, Jalen Ramsey, he's probably my number 3rd non-Cowboys player. So I think it has to do with health. He has a history of not really being able to remain on the field, which I don't think is an indictment on him. I think he's a tough guy, but I think it's hard to routinely rank somebody higher than that if they aren't playing full seasons. So I agree with you. I think a healthy JJ Watt is far superior to that, but I think it's a logical conclusion considering the injury issue.
I thought it was pretty surprising that Ezekiel Elliott was sitting at number 54. I thought he might have been a little bit higher than that.
Yes, when you have Le'Veon Bell, number 5, how do you have Ezekiel Elliott 54? Again, I think it plays into who do the players like and who do they not like, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Big surprise that Odell Beckham was in the 70s, and somehow, some way, Devontae Adams, yes, I did not misspeak or misspoke, however you say it. Yes, Devontae Adams was at like number 46, well ahead of OBJ. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell has Devontae Adams done to deserve being in the top 50 in the NFL? Like, like fantasy predictions this year, he's ranked very high. And I'm like, hold the phones. Like, is he really that good of an NFL wide receiver? He's pretty good, but number 46, no.
No, I agree with you. I think that that's crazy. That was a good find. I didn't even notice him in there, and that was a good find. So I think kind of we go back to the list is kind of bunk. I mean, you give it some warrant because it's players voting, but if it were not players voting, you would say, who made this list? It's ridiculous.
Right. And if Le'Veon Bell is number 5, come on, Pittsburgh Steelers, give the man his money, sign him long term, stop playing hardball with the guy. He's going to play his best. He's not going to tank it once he gets paid. Give the man the money he deserves and let him move on. Like, if he's a top 5 NFL player, which he probably really is, just pay the man, stop holding this over his head. That's why it's crazy. Like, no matter how good you are in the NFL, these teams will still stifle you and try to hold money over your head, no matter how good or how great you really are. It's absolutely insane.
It is insane. I think gone are the days of any loyalty on either side for the most part. And so that is sad because I think that plays into then how your team performs, your team chemistry, all of those things kind of come from that. And I agree. And there is no doubt, I don't care who your team is, who your running back is, he's a top 2, 3 running back regardless. You can't name me 2 running backs better than him. You might go Zeke, Le'Veon. I know if you look at stats, one year to the next, depending, because in one year Zeke played full season, the next year they're 1-2. I mean, there's no denying it. So I agree with you.
Absolutely. So we'll keep track of this. NFL's coming up. The practices are starting. Players will be reporting. It's just a great time of the year. Like, I love come August,
Yes.
September when it's NFL and college football every single week. Saturday and
Yes.
Sunday. It's just the best time of the year for me. So we'll keep tracking. I know with Brittany, we'll definitely be talking about more NFL over
I'm
the
too
weeks and months to
excited.
come.
I'm too excited.
Briefly switching gears, Sports Illustrated released their college football top 100 players of 2018. Do you have any highlights, lowlights, or any surprises for you?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. You and I were talking about this prior to the show, that the same way with the NFL top 100, we wanted to kind of understand the criteria and who was ranking these players, because that's what matters. With Sports Illustrated, one of the interesting criteria, if you're talking about criticizing the list or promoting the list, is that what they're saying with their top 100 college football players is they are at each player's production, how it will impact his team's success in this season. So if we want to look at these players, they're not going on past season, they're not going on future. They're looking really the top 100 players and how they'll impact team significant this year. What I thought was interesting, really kind of focusing on the top 10, if you will, is at number 6 was Jonathan Taylor, a running back out of Wisconsin. Obviously, being in Illinois. Okay, so I love football. I love the NFL, and I love the Dallas Cowboys. I like college football. I am not committed to one particular team. I'm like a college football free agent. I find players I like. I find teams I like for the season, but I have no loyalty to a particular team over years and years and years. With that said, I like Wisconsin, of course. I like what they do up there. So Jonathan Taylor, running back out of Wisconsin, at number 6 overall, I thought was huge. Coming in at number 5 was Nick Bosa out of Ohio State. And I'm just amazed how we've seen siblings within the college football and NFL system be successful year after year. So Nick Bosa being the brother of Joey Bosa,
Right.
to see him, he may not be Joey Bosa statistically, but the physical talent and the skills there are unbelievable. And so it never ceases to amaze me. We watched the Griffith brothers out of Central Florida both be drafted by Seattle. Obviously Mannings. We can go down the list of different brothers who have made it in the NFL. So I just always am amazed when you see that happen, and it tells you something genetically is going on, with these people. I don't know.
With
I
these
think it's
people.
interesting with these people. So Nick Bosa, I thought was really interesting coming out of Ohio State, and then really most shocking, kind of exciting, Clemson having 3 defensive players in the top 10. So you're talking about the top 100 NCAA football players. In the top 10 was 2 defensive ends and a defensive lineman out of Clemson. If these predictions are accurate, my goodness, is that going to be a ridiculous defense this year?
I mean, they should win the national title if you got 3 of the top 10 players, right, on the same defense.
I'll tell you what, it's amazing. And something else, I'm like a little tapped into college football, but not like totally. I know someone, I have a friend whose nephew right now is being heavily recruited. He's a senior in high school this year. The college football system is crazy. The recruitment process, the way these people go after these kids. I've seen some of it happening now because, as I said, I know someone, and it's unreal. So I don't know. It's exciting.
I'm glad you mentioned the 3 Clemson defensive players, and even bigger than that, I didn't really notice that until now, which is insane. Even bigger than that is the fact that 7 of the 10 players were on the defensive side of the ball, which in the NFL is completely the opposite way around. So it just goes to show you how defense in college can impact the game and how it's seen on the impact level or being the best player, whereas opposed to the NFL where it's offense dominated. So it's just cool to kind of see the difference there. And obviously when these guys all get to the NFL, which they probably all will, the impact that they'll have on the defensive side of the ball and how it can impact the defensive game in the NFL. But the big highlight for me was the simple fact that my school, and everyone knows me, knows I'm a huge U of M fan. Go Blue. Can't wait for the season. They need to get it done. Come on, Jim Harbaugh. You got a great team this year. You actually have a quarterback. They let Shea Patterson play, the transfer from Miss. They actually let him play now, so you should have no excuse. You got a quarterback. He was number 80 on the list, so that was cool to see. Michigan had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in the top 100. So they should have no excuse. Their defense is going to be amazing. I hope Michigan has a great season. But it's just cool to see the respect that they're getting with other players and people that are voting around them to actually see these people on the list. So it's just cool to see. It's kind of hard and tough to gauge like who's really going to pan out in college football. It's so much different than the NFL, but it's just cool to see Michigan get 6 players on that list. And it was just cool to see like who they view as going to have the most impact in the 2018 season.
Absolutely. And beyond all of it, it's like you and I talked, it's just exciting. We're talking about football again, and football that matters. The last meaningful football conversation we had was the draft, and then it's a drought. So to know that it's getting close, college football is getting close, NFL is getting close, it's just exciting.
We got to get through the dog days of baseball season in the summer. But yeah, football, like I say, July goes quick, and come August time, we'll be right there at it. And, first weeks of the season are always amazing.
We'll be talking Hard Knocks before you know it.
Oh, yeah, shouts out to the Cleveland Browns. I'm actually happy that they got it, but I'm a little nervous for them because whoever gets Hard Knocks actually ruins their season. So I'm actually – the Browns are the last team that needs their season ruined, but they actually got a really good team coming in, so I'm definitely going to be watching.
That's going to be an exciting season of Hard Knocks at the very least. And I think they're going to have a lot of people cheering for them. So I'm excited too.
We got to talk a little bit of BET Awards from this past week and get our thoughts there. But first, we should pay a bill real quick. Do you want to do that?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So this portion of the episode is sponsored by the Wrigley Report. Cubs fans, if you're looking for the latest renovations, updates, team news, player analysis, and overall Cub news, look no further than Wrigley Report, your number one source for all Chicago Cub news. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on their handle at Wrigley Report. And shouts out to Jason. I'm surprised he's actually hasn't been our fan of the week, but he tells me he listens to every single episode every single week. He's a good guy, so we'll have to hang out with him very soon.
Yeah, I think so. Then that's on you. He didn't tell me he was listening, so you need to make him the fan of the week.
Yeah, of course, he's a good dude. But yeah, he definitely says he listens. He may be a little bit late, but he says he catches up on every single episode.
That's all that matters.
Let's get to some BET Awards talk. Did you watch it or what?
So I recorded it, so I didn't have to watch everything if I wanted to fast forward. I did not watch it live for the most part. I saw little bits, but I did see things that mattered. Um, all in all, I know the reaction was that it was kind of hit or miss. What did you think about the show? Then I'll tell you some of my highlights.
I think it was very disjointed. And Jamie Foxx is amazing. He's a great singer, great entertainer, great comedian. He makes you laugh. But I think in an award show, sometimes when you have the aura about you that you're just gonna automatically just go off script and say what you want, I think in some cases that can be good, but in this case for the BET Awards, I think it threw it off completely. There was a couple of different segments where you can completely tell he went off script. He said what he wanted. There was a point in time where he brought Childish Gambino on stage and just seemed awkward. Childish wasn't prepared. He brought Michael B. Jordan on stage at one point. Awkward. You can tell he wasn't prepared. And sometimes that just makes an award show just not go fluent. Another weird part was they didn't have an opening performance. Like when normally on award shows, the first thing is a performance before they go into who's going to be on there, and then they introduce the co-host. They immediately just went and introduced the co-host, so there was no opening performance. So that was kind of weird too. Did you notice that, or did you see that part?
I did see it, and I absolutely agree with the disjointedness and the awkwardness when Jamie Foxx is bringing people on stage who weren't expecting it. That was weird.
Absolutely. So I would say, in regards to the highlight, the best performance obviously had to have been Meek Mill. I think it's dope that he used his platform to set an example. Of course, he broke a new song with Miguel. Great song, great message, but the theatrics and everything around it was great. It's just good when you have an opportunity like that to show your platform and send a message, and that's exactly what he did. So I love that. Migos, and I always clown them for having bad performances and always acting like they don't want to be there. Well, they did it again this time. They definitely performed like they didn't want to be there. But I will say, I just love a lot of their songs that they do. They really have the crowd in the palm of their hands, and I like their performance too, which is pretty surprising. Nicki Minaj is up there, and definitely she's in album mode. I will say that when Big Sean came out, Big Sean's my guy. He killed his verse. Big Sean can rap, and I just want people to really just understand that that boy can rap. Give the man the props that he deserves. So I will say overall, I like that performance too. It was a cool show. Like I said, I didn't watch all of it from beginning to end. I definitely had it recorded and could watch parts, but overall, I just think it was a disjointed show. And I don't know, I think they just changed the format because most years are worse than others. But I'll say this was definitely a forgettable year for the BET Awards. What do you think?
It wasn't great, and I know this is what the BET Awards does, but what I think is always odd about it is it spans such a huge variety, going from music to activism to directors to movies to so it's covering such a huge amount of ground. I think that adds to the disjointedness of it. It's not based on movies or based on music or based on television, so I think that adds to it. Of course, I love the Meek performance. We've discussed it before. For some reason, I love anything that has Miguel as a feature on it. Like, it's just like I see Miguel as a feature. I don't even love him that much, but he always brings something to it. So love that song. Loved the tribute to Anita Baker. Loved the her performance. I think
Yeah,
she's
that was dope.
one of the most underrated female R&B singers. Absolutely underrated. So seeing her on there and like she was incredible. She's on tour right now with Chris Brown, or she's going on tour with Chris Brown.
Oh,
So
really?
hopefully, yeah. So that tour that comes to Chicago with Chris Brown in July, she's there. It's Rich the Kid, it's her and Chris Brown. So hopefully that'll get her a little more attention because she was amazing. What I thought was interesting, what's funny about award shows was when they did the award for the best collaboration and it was
Right.
Wild Thoughts. Okay, that song was a year ago. It seems like 100 years ago. You couldn't get away from the song, right? You couldn't get away from it. It was everywhere. It seems forever ago. So to have a song that seems so old be winning awards now just kind of shows you like how music goes so quickly and burns through trends and goes through. So I thought that was interesting. Snoop Dogg doing gospel music will always be weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a pass for me. I don't really need to see Snoop Dogg doing gospel music ever.
No, me neither. So all in all, I think it was okay, but I certainly do think it was forgettable. I think BT will be lucky if people forget it because it was not great.
I feel like that's the feedback every single year. I will admit that the VMAs just do it so much better than the BET Awards, and I just want BET Awards to step up one day and just for us to just say, "Man, that was an amazing award show." And I feel like year after year they just miss the mark. Like you see, they try, they just miss. I don't know what they do.
I don't know either.
I will say one thing that they did get right: the actual awards themselves. That's like the last thing you care about in the award show is actually who wins. For the most part, they pretty much got it right. Outside of the Wild Thoughts, which I mean, I guess it is what it is. I mean, it was a big song. It was number one, so okay that it did win. But for like best group, artist of the year, album of the year, video of the year, like Drake God's Plan won, like new artist of the year, SZA won. Just for every single award, I feel like the best person or the person that should win actually won. So I actually think they really got it right for the most part this year.
Well, that's good at least.
Did you? You probably didn't even notice or care who was even nominated for any
I
award.
noticed Cardi B winning Best Female Hip Hop Artist and the viewer's choice for Bodak Yellow. I noticed Mary J. Blige winning, which of course made me excited, but more excited in the same award, the Her Award or whatever they call it, that Mary J. Blige won. She was probably my first ever favorite artist. Like as a kid, when you get your own taste in music, Mary J. Blige was the first album like I wanted to buy myself. So I loved that. But more than that, even I loved Chloe and Halle, who we talked about last week. They were nominated, which was awesome. So I was excited for that. Yeah, but other than that, I didn't really care.
Don't let me find out you dance like Mary J. Blige though.
There's been way too much talking about my dancing this week.
I know. I'm kind of curious. But let me find out you do. We're gonna have some issues.
Someday maybe you'll know. Okay, we got to move on. Yeah.
Speaking of Childish Gambino, I know we mentioned him earlier, getting awkwardly, caught up on stage. But so recently, there's been a report that came out that allegedly, someone saying, I guess there's a New Jersey rapper. His name's Jace or Jase Harley. He had a 2016 track called American Pharaoh, and basically they're saying that Childish Gambino or whoever produced the song or what essentially plagiarized that song to create the elements for what his This Is America song is. So I listened to both songs. I'll give you my thoughts in a minute, but first, what are your thoughts on the accusation that Childish Gambino plagiarized This Is America?
Okay, first of all, they're exactly the same song. Okay, I listened to both songs too. They are exactly the same. And I know one of the collaborators I don't think Donald Glover has come out and addressed it. One of the collaborators denied it. He had tweeted some things out. His name is Sam Rothstein. He's part of a group that Childish Gambino is part of. He denied it, and then he deleted those tweets. With that said, it is exactly the same song. However, this Jace Harley did come out on Instagram. He made a statement that I thought was huge. His statement was, he said, and I'm quoting him, "Please don't let this controversy dilute the message me and Childish Gambino are trying to convey. We are speaking about injustices we've encountered, and he's helped to provide a platform for all of our voices to be heard. Let's not discredit him for that. The focus should be on affecting change in our communities and building equality. This is bigger than me and him and bigger than music. Let's not lose focus." So first of all, I thought that was huge. Here's this Jace Hartley who nobody's heard of probably, and he could have used this to make a name for himself and be like, that's my song. And he didn't. It wasn't till it came out on Reddit that he addressed it. And he said, don't lose focus. We have the same message. We're trying to do the same thing. Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, was able to take that same message and give it way more spotlight than Jace Hartley was. So I thought that was like really big of him to say that. So huge for him. I don't know what will come of it, but I'm sorry. It was exactly the same song.
It was 100% the same song, and I know he's being a noble person out of this, but hey, screw that. You need to get paid. I guarantee. I'm not sure how rich this guy is, but I know Childish Gambino probably has way more money than he does. So if he has the opportunity to get paid or get some money off of this, I definitely think that he should. I mean, I know it happens. a lot in the music industry. I know it happens a lot to where they may take certain things, like parts of your song, especially for someone who's not as big as someone else. And obviously, with all these producers, who knows where they get some of these song ideas from? Like, it just honestly, it may happen. But at the end of the day, I think this guy needs to get his money. I think he needs to not stop being so nice, because this is the number one song in the country. You know how much money Childish Gambino is going to make off of this song? If he wants to say, oh, it's cool that he took it and flipped it and made it better, you need to get some money off of that. You need to be more stingy, and you need to get your bread. So if he doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But 100% I agree with you. He definitely, or someone, whoever made that song before him, definitely stole that song.
They stole that song. But again, like, wow, awesome on him for saying the message is the same, and that's the part that's important. So that makes him a really noble person. Hopefully, Donald
Screw
Glover.
that, man. Get your money. Stop being you so.
Hopefully
I know you
Donald
love it. You
Glover.
love nobleness and niceness and all that, and holding hands and kissing babies and all that stuff. Man, get your money, bro. I'm gonna make sure I tweet him to say, "Get your money."
Get your money, bro. But yeah, it's the same song. So if you have not listened to them side by side, I know there's even some videos out there on YouTube where they'll literally kind of mesh them one after the other. Go listen to it, see for yourself. When I first read it, I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. I listened to it and I'm like, this is the same song. So go listen for yourself and let us know. Tweet us, Instagram us, Facebook us. Let us know what you think. I think it's the same
Is it
song.
really matter? Like, can he sue for that? Like, I feel like there's no way that he wouldn't. He wouldn't
I
win.
think
Like, it's
he can
definitely the same song.
I think he can only sue if they can guarantee like so many notes are exactly the same. So if they're not, if it's just a matter that it sounds similar and the message is the same, I don't think legally he can do anything. I think it's a matter of so many notes have to match up exactly for it to be
Guess we'll see
a
what happens.
violation.
But hey, man, get your money. Don't just sweep this under the rug, because you're gonna be so salty when he makes $10 million off of that song and you make none, and
So
you're gonna be
shout out to
hurt. So
Jace
get your money,
Harley
bro.
and your amazing song, American Pharaoh. Go look it out. If it's on YouTube, go give them some views. Do whatever you got to do. All
Let's
right.
get. You want to get into our favorite segment, everything Chicago, or what?
I think every segment's our favorite. Let's get on to everything
No,
Chicago.
I do love talking Chicago stuff. This is our city, and it's been a great week in the city of Chicago this past week. And obviously, I didn't get to talk about this at the beginning of the episode, but this past week, I was at Mamby on the beach. I don't know if it's called Mamby or Mamby or what, but I know people always get that confused. But Mamby on the beach this past weekend was an awesome event. Have you ever been to a music festival on the beach before, B, or what?
I have never been to a music festival on the beach. No, B, I have not.
It's amazing. It's a good time. Like, you're on the south side of Chicago, so you actually can see, downtown from the opposite view. Saturday and Sunday, the views are great. Music was great. The crowd was great. The setup was cool. It was a good time. So like Saturday, Common headline, which is awesome. Chance the Rapper came out, so Chance is always linked with anything in Chicago, so that was great to see. Duke Dumont tore it down on Saturday. Gordon City on Saturday tore it down. But I had a lot of fun on Sunday. Sundays are always just a great vibe. So I want to thank React Presents for giving us the opportunity. I thought it was a great time, a great event, and I'm going to give a special shout out. And I was a big non-fan of this person before, but I want to give a shout out to Russ. And Russ talks a lot of crap. He's always on social media and his music talking crap about how he's better than everyone else. He's independent. He's done it on his own. And God damn it, I mean, he went out there and he threw down on his set. He actually did a great
Language,
job.
B.
And he made a
Language.
believer out of me, to where I can go on wax right now and say I will never slander Russ. I will never slander his music ever again. So I like to see, if you can entertain me in a performance, then that means you're actually legit as a music artist. And I think he actually did that. So shouts out to Russ. But overall, I thought it was a great event, great time, and can't wait to be there. Next year I got to meet some great artists in the media section, that we may have on Alternative Fact Chicago very, very soon. So I think it's a great time. Summertime in Chicago is amazing. Music festival season in Chicago is amazing. And it's always just good to see good, cool people in one place. So Mamby on the Beach was a success, and I thought it was an awesome event.
That's awesome. I'm excited that it was such a good time.
I had a great time.
All right. So also on the same day on Sunday, we had the 49th annual Chicago Pride Parade downtown on the north side by where you reside.
Yes, sir.
The parade included 150 floats to celebrate. The theme of this year's parade was Remember the Past, Create the Future. And of course, as always, it was a wonderful party put on by the people who were out there celebrating. One of the coolest things about the Pride Parade in Chicago, and I'm sure in other cities, is it's people who are part of the LGBTQ community, as well as people who just support them. So I think it's such an awesome time. Something that's really exciting, I think, is in addition to the Pride Parade being downtown this past Sunday, the Sunday prior, Aurora, which is one of the largest suburbs in Chicago, had their first ever Pride Parade. So it's spreading
That's
right
awesome.
outside of this. Yeah, it's spreading outside of the city to some of the larger suburbs to celebrate there, to show support there. And I think the movement is just great. And it was a great time for everyone.
Yeah, it was great. And where I live on the north side, it's right in the heart of where the parade is. So it's people everywhere. It's loud. It's music, but it's just great to see people of all shapes, colors, sizes, ethnicities. It doesn't matter. Like everyone's just in a great mood. It's one big party. A lot of music, a lot of dancing, and people are just free to be who they want. And it's just a time to just come together and celebrate and celebrate equality. I think it's awesome. It's an amazing event every year. It was great weather. It was perfect. It was pretty hard to get downtown, so we were trying to go to Mamby like right after the parade ended. It took forever. Kind of sucked, but you know what you're getting yourself into. So I think it was a great time, and I'm really glad that Chicago does this. And Chicago's not the only city. Obviously, New York, every other big city does a parade as well, but Chicago does it right. It was a great time, and I know this year was the 49th installment of it. So with next year being the 50th anniversary, it only makes it right, B, if Alternative Fact Chicago was a part of it and actually in that parade next year, right? Don't you think?
I think I'm putting it on that vision board I talked about earlier. I'm putting a rainbow on there today that will be part of what we're a part of next year.
We have to be there. I think it'll just be awesome to actually be in that parade, represent Alternative Fact Chicago for the city. I've always wanted to do it. It seems like an amazing time. So we're definitely, I promise you, we'll be in that parade next year.
We will be there. Celebration of equality and inclusiveness. And what more could you ask for?
Absolutely. So now that that's over, don't get back to the tomfoolery, everyone. Let's keep holding hands. Let's all be happy and let's be positive.
See, and you laugh at me for that, but that's exactly what we're doing here. Another interesting topic that came out this week in the Chicago Tribune was a petition that's being put out by a Chicago resident. They are asking Metra and the Chicago Transit Authority to install blue lights at their stations. They are claiming that those blue lights will be calming and that it might prevent suicides. There was a study in Japan done that said that blue lights at subway stations led to an 84% decrease in the number of suicides. As of right now, the CTA and Metro are saying they're not sure that they're going to do this. They want to work towards preventing suicides, but they don't really see any evidence that blue lights will necessarily help. However, they're working on different measures to go ahead and try to further that prevention and make those things less common. As we know, it happens far too often in Chicago or across the country where these things are happening on train tracks and at transit stations. So it was an interesting take, an interesting suggestion by this resident that might help prevent that. What do you think?
I think it's awesome, and hopefully it passes. I never would have even thought that would be an idea or a way to help prevent suicides, but anything that's going to help prevent it, I'm all for it. I've taken the CTA, I've taken the train many million, hundreds of times over the years. So, and I'm just glad that I've actually never seen that physically in person. I think it would floor me. I think it'd be terrible to see for all involved. So I'm glad I never have. But anything to prevent suicide, I think I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully, regardless whether they choose to go this route of the blue lights, they are doing different things with signage and action and things to try to help that cause. So good for the CTA and Metro for trying to do that. Whether it turns into this blue light movement or not, we'll wait to see.
Also in Chicago news, so there's this Chicago bar. It bans your team MAGA hat. So this bar called the Replay in Lincoln Park. It's announced the strictly enforced rules over this past weekend in a post on their Facebook page. So it basically said the establishment said the move was made after much consternation. And what the hell is consternation mean? I have no idea. But after much consternation and consideration to maintain a classy environment. So what they're doing, they're banning all like MAGA hats from Donald Trump, the red hats that you always see, no face tattoos, anything of the source related to MAGA, that's going to be banned. And it's funny that they actually did this because my best friend, Greg Hopkins, what up, G-Hop? Don't ask
What up,
why, but he
G-Hop?
has a red Team MAGA hat. And not the fact that he supports Donald Trump or anything like that. He just wears it for fun around places to see what happens. So he says that whenever he goes out to the bar or just wears it, all the dirty looks he gets, he says so many times people have damn near tried to fight him over it. So if that's the case, and that's why this bar is banning it to keep a classy environment, I'm all for it because I can definitely see fights breaking out over that damn red hat.
What up, G-Hop? I'm furious. I would fight you over that hat.
Exactly. That's what people think. It's hilarious to see.
Yeah, I'm mad at G-Hop right now. But with that said, I think this is a terrible move. Anyone who knows me, anyone who listens, yes, see, even you're shocked. Anyone who knows me, anyone who listens to the show knows how much I hate it, knows how much I hate that man, knows everything. However, this is America. You cannot stop people from wearing a shirt, a hat with a political slogan on it. We are a free-thinking society. It's crossing a line, in my opinion, which I know is shocking because clearly I don't agree with the message. But I think making that move and banning a particular political point of view or political slogan is outrageous. It's un-American, and I don't think it's okay. So I actually disagree with this move. I think it's a poor decision. Now, like I said, I want to know who support. I want to see you in that hat, so I know exactly what you stand for. So I know that I will never talk to you. But I don't think for a business to go ahead and ban those sorts of things, I think truly is crossing a line. So I don't like that at all, actually.
I guess I can see both sides. Like, for example, Bottle Blind, they've always been in the news for what they ban at their bar and what people wear and cannot wear, and they've got lawsuits related around it. So I do get the notion of, why would you ban, a MAGA hat when it's supposed to be free speech and wear what you want? But you got to think of the bigger picture of what they're thinking. Like, for example, my boy Greg says whenever he wears it out, all the dirty looks he gets and people that want to fight him, maybe they're just trying to avoid any incidents happening at their establishment for wearing their hat. You got to think of it that way.
And I do, and I understand that. But think about it this way: if you had 4 years ago someone wearing an Obama Hope and Change hat, right, and that Obama Hope and Change hat was banned from an establishment, can you imagine the outrage over that happening? Now, I believe that Trump's message is different than Obama's. I believe that it's hate-filled. So I understand the outrage over the Make America Great Again hat. I do. But I just think we have to look at that and kind of say, yeah, yes and no. I get what you're saying, that you're trying to eliminate any problems. But if those people are there, whether they're wearing that hat or not, there's probably going to be problems regardless.
Yeah, and this is crazy that someone that would wear the hat or just that hat, the presence alone has that much effect over people.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my day-to-day life, like, yeah, if I saw someone in the hat, I think it'd be funny. Like, yeah, I don't care that you wear it or not. I don't support Donald Trump, but I'm not going to want to fight you over it. Like, I have too much going on in my life right now to ever let that be a distraction. And it sounds like people just have that much hate to where they would actually literally want to fight or just anything over a MAGA hat, and that's probably why they're avoiding it. But come on, people, we got too much going on to really care what type of hat that you're wearing out.
We do, and we have too much going on, and whether you like the message or not, or what it brings with it, it still is America. It still is free speech. You gotta let people wear what they want to wear.
All right, Childish Gambino.
But yeah, I know. let's hold hands and be noble. Okay, so with that said,
this was a good one. Go for it.
This is a good one. I have found so exciting. Coming back, it just opened last week. Is a floating water park that's going to be in Lake Michigan in Whiting, Indiana. It's at a place called Wehala Beach. It is so cool. It's opening up. It's going to be open through August 19th. It has like trampolines and monkey bars and jumping things all in the middle of Lake Michigan, and it looks like an awesome time. And we joked that we needed to be out there doing something because it looked like so much fun. So I know that we posted about it on our social media, but check out the floating water park on Lake Michigan in Whiting, Indiana, not far from the city. It looks like a great time.
Hey, I can't swim worth a lick, but I would totally do this water park. Like, I think it'd be awesome. It looked dope. It looked awesome.
As long as you don't fall off the monkey bars, you'll be fine.
Can you wear like floaties or a life vest or something?
I'm sure you can.
If that's the case, then I'll definitely be all for it.
We'll get you some floaties.
Absolutely. So that was a great Everything Chicago segment. We always like to keep up on what's going on in the city of Chicago. It's summertime, so there's a lot going on in the city. And we'll stay up to breast on what's going on each and every week throughout the summer and keep you up to date on what's going on in our city of Chicago.
Yes.
So this is what we're going to do now, and this is a little switch up from what we normally do. So if you heard the beginning of the episode and last week, we have a theme song, and it's amazing. It's gotten great feedback, and right now what we're going to do, we're going to cut to a quick interview segment with the guy who actually made this theme song for us. His name is DJ Willis. He lives outside of Miami in Fort Lauderdale, in connection with our guy, Ty Jordan. Ty Perfect, what up, sir? Really appreciate you helping us out with this. So we want to get his thoughts and opinions on the song itself, what he has going on, and just introduce him to the fans of Alternative Fact Chicago. So, B, you cool with us cutting to this and coming right back here in a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be back. So check out this interview, and we'll be back with quick hits and Clown of the Week. Welcome back to Alternative Fact Chicago. That was just our Everything Chicago segment. Great segment once again, as always. So right now we're going to switch it up, do something a little bit different. As you may have heard in the beginning of the episode and on episode 50, we have a brand new theme song. And it's great. It's amazing. It's gotten amazing feedback from all the fans of Alternative Fact Chicago. So what we thought today, we should get the man, the myth, the legend behind our brand new theme song on the show, on our platform, to give you an insight exactly to who he is. So Alternative Fact Chicago, welcome DJ Willis. How you doing today, sir?
What's going on, bro?
How are you today?
I'm good, man. Just, doing my thing. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate you. And most importantly, thanks for doing our brand new theme song. We really appreciate it.
No doubt, man. No problem.
So first of all, for our fans of Alternative Fact Chicago, first, thanks for coming on and being here today. Give the fans of the show just a little insight exactly who you are. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Queens, New York, Queens and Long Island.
Okay.
I definitely lived in Jersey for a little while too. And then I moved out to Florida, so I'm here now. And I'm a music producer, engineer, songwriter, and artist. So I just like to stay in the creative space. So I'm pretty simple. Like I just like to stay in the mix, man.
Yeah, that's dope, and you're doing good things. And we're gonna talk a little about your music history here in a little bit. So, where you live right now? You live in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Where you live right now?
Yeah, I'm in the Fort Lauderdale area. Yeah.
Absolutely, I know it's real hot down there right now, right?
Oh man, it's blazing. It's crazy. Yeah. It's hot.
We want to come check you out, but it might be too hot to come down there right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's Florida, though. It's all year round. This heat is real.
Absolutely. So we'll set that up with our guy, Ty Jordan or Ty Perfect. We're going to set that
up.
Mr.
Perfect. Yes. Ask Mr. Perfect. He got it.
That's our guy. Shouts out to Ty Perfect as well. We'll do some work with them soon, but yeah, we'll probably get out there, later summer, early fall.
Well, that's what's up.
But first, let's discuss the theme song for Alternative Fact Chicago briefly. What was your thought process behind it? Tell me about that.
Well, you mentioned Ty, right? So Ty's my friend too. He brought the idea to me that you guys, needed a theme song. So I just asked him, what kind of vibes you guys were, looking for. So he told me about the sample and just, what you guys are about. So I just kind of went and just did my thing. I really, whatever I felt like doing, whatever I felt like the vibe would really be, I just created it. And then I was just hoping that you guys would like it. And, I'm glad that it's good feedback.
Gotten great feedback. A lot of the fans love it. Said it fits our show perfectly. Yeah. Thanks for putting up with us, kicking that
nice.
Or I know we could be a pain in the ass sometimes, but I think it actually came out great.
Nah, that's good, man.
Awesome. So we know you're a little newer to the music industry. We just want to let the fans know, or we want to hear your thoughts. What are your goals, visions, for the next couple of years, and what do you got going on musically?
Okay, so my goals, I just, I want to make sure that the impact and the love is felt. I'm definitely, I'm big on that more than any specific thing The success and the results are going to be what they are, but overall, just the impact, leaving my mark. I'm definitely, releasing new music. I have an album out now called Everything is Special.
Okay.
Um, that was out for a while. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever streaming platform you might have.
Okay.
It's on there. Yeah. So I mean, other than my music and the stuff that I'm about to release later on this year, I definitely keep my hands busy in other people's projects. I'm part of a collective called USIFE. We out in Jersey.
Okay.
It's a lot of people out there. We just have a movement where we just spread love through art, through social media, through giving back to the community and whatever. So we find any way to show some love, and keep people engaged. But other than that, I got my family. I have my sister. She's actually a singer, Bree
Okay.
Janae. She's releasing some music too. There's a lot of people I'm working with, up and coming artists as well that definitely have some dope music out. So I like to keep my hands full.
I like it, man. Keep pushing, keep working hard, keep making those beats, keep producing, singing. You never know. You could only be one song away from really blowing up. So,
Definitely, yeah.
grind. So we got to get up out of here. But before we do, here's your 10, 15-second platform. Let all the fans know, plug your social media. Where can they find DJ Willis?
All right, shouts out to the fans. You can find me anywhere on social media at DJ Willis22. You can also follow USIFE. That's UCYPHE. And all of the stuff that's on there is definitely connected. So follow me, I'll follow back. It's all love.
Absolutely. So we will put your group name. We'll put your handle in the bio section of this episode. So it'll be there going forward, so the fans know exactly where to find you. But we appreciate you coming out. Like I say, thank you for the theme song from the bottom of my hearts. We'll definitely be doing more work with you. We'll be on the lookout
Definitely.
for and what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
I said, when we
Just let me know, man.
We'll definitely come and check you out down in Florida later this year, okay?
Word. All right, bro.
Awesome. This was DJ Willis. We'll be back here in a minute with our quick hit segment. Welcome back to Alternative Fact Chicago. That was our quick interview segment with DJ Willis. Nice guy, right, B?
Yeah, really nice. He was so patient with us. As I told him, and as I said, I had a vision. I had a vision for the Britney Spears part, and he was patient and made it happen. And we're really thankful for him.
Absolutely. So you'll be hearing more from him. We'll be doing more work with DJ Willis in the future. But once again, shouts out to Ty Perfect for the connection. That's my guy. So we'll be doing more work with him very soon. So you want to move on to some quick hits, B, or what?
Let's do some quick hits. It's about time.
Let's do it.
I know what you've been waiting for all summer long. This week, Drake will be releasing his new album, Scorpion. It is rumored to be a double album, supposedly one half being R&B Drizzy, the other half being rap Drizzy. What are you hoping to hear? Are you excited? Are you looking forward to it?
So what I hear is that it's actually confirmed to be a double album. I think this is an amazing idea. I've been waiting for this for Drake for a long time. It's hard because on Drake albums, I feel, and Take Care may be the closest to it. But I don't think he officially has a classic album as of yet. I may get some heat off of that, but I don't think he does. I think this is the opportunity, and it's tough because you'll hear a banger from Drake. He'll be rapping his ass off, and the very next song, he'll be crooning, singing, and making love, making music. And it's just tough to go back and forth. So I think this is perfect, an album rapping, an album singing. I'm hoping it'll be amazing. He has a lot to get off his chest. I hope he answers some about Kanye, some about Pusha T, but I'm hoping for a great album. It's going to be the weekend of Drake, and I'm excited for it. What about you?
I'm excited for it too. I also agree that I'm a pick and choose Drake fan, as I've said before. Like a song here, like a song there. Certainly don't listen to an album straight through. So I'm excited that this might be one. Maybe it will flow a little bit better, like you said, to be one R&B, one hip hop, or one rap. So I'm excited to at least listen to it. Considering the amount of albums I've had to boycott because I won't touch anything related to Kanye, I'm excited to have a new album to listen to this weekend.
So you haven't listened to basically any hip hop music the past month?
I mean, not any new music. I actually did. You probably don't realize there was a new Neo album that came out. I did check out the Neo album. It was not worth mentioning. So,
yeah, Neo in 2018. I can't believe you even gave that a shot.
I gave it a shot. I like him. I'm kind of a fan. The album was not very good.
Nah, Neo in 2018 just isn't the move. And I love Neo, but sometimes people are past their prime. I think he's a better producer than artist right now, and I'm glad you confirmed that.
Yes, wasn't very good. Okay.
Keenan and Kel are bringing back the show Double Dare. I know I'm excited. Are you excited, B?
I'm excited. I have visions of watching those kids like search for the flag inside of that sandwich. Like that's what it is for me. Remember, it would always be the one. I think it was like the last part of the show, and they're inside the giant sandwich, and they have to find the flag and put it in their pants and move on. That's what I'm excited to see happen. So I hope there will be the giant sandwich.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that show. I used to love the show Bozo the Clown. Remember that show as a kid? And like
Well,
the end part,
yeah.
yeah, and the part
He
where you had
passed
to
away
like throw the ball
recently.
into like the different buckets at different
Bozo,
levels. Man,
Bozo buckets.
I used to I always want to be a part of that show. So I think Double Dare actually debuted yesterday or today.
I thought it was
So I'm
Monday, but
probably
either way.
honestly won't check out every show or maybe not any show at all. But I'm actually excited. I'm actually definitely am excited though that it's coming back. I think it's a cool idea.
It is a cool idea, and I think kids will love it. So I
Absolutely.
like that. This week was the NBA awards. James Harden won the MVP over your boy LeBron James. Did he deserve it?
Absolutely not. I think LeBron James deserved it. He played every single game this season for the first time ever. He dominated, and I know James Harden. He had a great regular season. His team had a great regular season. He seemed unstoppable on the offensive end, but LeBron James is by far and away was the overall just best player in basketball, and you should reward that. And I think what happens with LeBron James, he gets overlooked at this point because you expect him to be so good. It's just LeBron James. He's gonna always be in the mix. But I think this year he deserved it. But I can see why James Harden got it because he's never won it before. He's been close before. But still, I'm going LeBron James. He should have won.
I agree with you. And I am not a defender like you are, but I actually saw a side-by-side stat comparison of James Harden and LeBron James, and it blew my mind and I know that there's more to the decision than stats, but it blew my mind that you could look at that information and make that choice. So I think definitely some LeBron hate came into play there. And as I said, I'm not even a defender, so I'm surprised.
The judge in the Meek Mill case, man, I don't even know her name anymore, and I don't care. She states that there will not be a retrial. Why the hell is she still in this case, B?
No one knows. I need our legal expert, Melissa, to weigh in here. As
Where
she
you at,
typically
Melissa?
does. Where you at, Melissa? Janice Brinkley or something like that. The DA says there needs to be a trial. When the DA himself says there needs to be a new trial and the judge won't, it's crazy. I do know that his lawyers are planning to appeal again. So we'll see what happens. But this is just crazy.
The problem is if there's no retrial, he can almost go back to jail, right?
Well, yeah, right now he's out on bond based on that. And so the expectation is that there would be a retrial. So, yes, if appeals don't work, I think he could go back. But I don't see that happening when the district attorney himself is saying this was not a fair trial.
Absolutely. And Meek's starting to go on a good run. He's got a good message. Can't wait for new music.
Yeah,
Leave him out of
news.
jail. Like, he doesn't need to go back in jail. This lady is crazy. She's got a hard on for Meek at this point.
Yeah, I think she does.
It's absolutely crazy. Supreme Court Justice Kennedy is retiring. Hot off the press as of today. Big news. First of all, do you even care? And second, what does this mean?
Okay, I do care. We need to care. Everyone needs to care because what this means, as many people know and some don't, a Supreme Court justice does not have a term limit. It is a lifelong appointment. That's why you see so many old people on the Supreme Court. So when a justice is nominated and approved by Congress, they serve until they retire or die. So what this means is the president that's in office at the time that a Supreme Court justice either retires or dies is the president who gets to nominate the next justice. So right now, this means by Justice Kennedy retiring today or effective when it is, the next Supreme Court nominee will be nominated by Donald Trump. It will have to be voted on and approved by Congress, which right now is a Republican Congress. So what that means is that judge is going to not only be someone conservative leaning, but also concerning that it might be someone who even conservative leaning legal people may not agree with their stance on. So this is concerning. This is a big deal. These justices serve forever. So if Donald Trump is to nominate someone who is 40 years old, for example, this could be someone who's sitting on the Supreme Court for 40 more years. So it is important. I know right now a lot of Democrats are coming out saying they want to wait till the midterm elections, which is when Democrats might take over Congress, and they would have to be the ones to approve the nominee. We don't know what'll happen, but it's something important that we watch because it is a big deal for us.
I'm glad you thought it was a big deal because I unfortunately didn't really care much at all. And the only reason I was thinking, I was like, would I ever have a need or reason in my life to ever need the Supreme Court? I would hope not. But now knowing that and the fact that, it may be someone appointed, from Donald Trump's camp, it actually might be terrible. So maybe I should care now. Thanks for enlightening me.
You're welcome. And I know it's quick hits, but you should care because what you may not realize is you might not need the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court are the people who have decided Roe versus Wade. They are the people who have decided the legality and equality of gay marriage. They are the people who just upheld travel ban. So all of these things are decisions put forth by the Supreme Court. So if you have a court that's leaning in one direction or the other, they are the ones really ruling on the Constitution for the nation. So they are the ones who could support or overturn Roe versus Wade, support or overturn gay marriage, and in this case, the travel ban. So it is really important.
Shouts out to B.Chan for always being the more well-prepared member of Alternative Facts Chicago.
Yeah, I got a hard on for politics. So
there we go. We can tell.
Okay, so B.Hun, Big Brother 20 is premiering tonight. Oh my goodness, are you excited?
Yeah, I actually want to get off of this episode so I can go watch here soon because it's going to be starting any minute. But actually, I do have it on DVR, so I figured I might not be able to watch it till later tonight, even tomorrow. But I'm definitely excited for the season. It's an amazing show. It's made it 20 seasons. Just the impact that it has, the twists and turns, the drama, the manipulation. I think it's awesome. It actually makes you put your thinking cap on for a show. It's not just silly drama, but all actually makes sense. I love it. We're going to be talking about it all season. So I told you, B, if you don't watch it, I'm going to be reviewing the episodes by myself. So fans, strap in. It's going to be a long summer because I will always be talking about Big Brother, and I can't wait for it to start tonight.
All right. Well, I might tune in for you.
You're not gonna watch. Like who are you kidding? Like for you to even remotely, like you're the type of person where you're set on something, it's not gonna happen. You're just not gonna watch it. So just be prepared that I'm gonna review it, and you're just gonna have to listen.
And if you think I'm the person who's set and then I won't do it, you also know I'm the person who will do anything if someone tells me I won't. So we will have to see.
Reverse psychology. There you go.
That's right. All right. What else you got?
Lastly, before we get to the comment of the week, the Big Three approves of the use of cannabis, and they say it has to be for like injury purposes or recovery or whatever the heck they're making up. Are you on board with this?
Yeah, absolutely. So they're approving the use of CBDs for pain management. It's a big move. The NFL, NBA, and MLB, none of them approve this, yet they push opioid painkillers, which we know is far more hazardous to people. So I like it. I love it. I'm glad that they're doing it. I hope that other leagues get on board with it.
Yeah, and these guys are going to smoke one way or another, whether it's legalized or not, or said you could or not, or what. And it's just going to happen. I mean, Matt Barnes in the NBA said that he smoked damn near before every single NBA game. So a lot of these players do it. You might as well legally let them do it. Whatever excuse you make up why they can, let them do it because it's going to happen. So I'm fully on board with this.
All right. Let's get on to your favorite part of the clown of the week.
Let me go first. I think you going first the last couple of weeks. So I think
all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And my clown of the week is a funny story. It's a hilarious story, hot off the press. And unfortunately, it has to go to Lee Daniels. And it has to go to Lee Daniels because you owe Dame Dash $2 million when in reality, I would say, yeah, if you don't have the $2 million, maybe set up a payment plan to, pay him back. But Lee Daniels, you're getting clown of the week because we know you have $2 million to pay back Dame Dash. And the funny part, if you ever saw the clip, go find it. It's all over the internet. Dame Dash actually confronts Lee Daniels during the Anita Baker performance or somewhere that they were at and just called him out for owing $2 million. They're also in the middle of a lawsuit, I think, for like $5 million or something like that. So, and it was funny because Lee Daniels just had a look on his face to say, you're not getting this $2 million. I don't care what you're saying. He was just trying to pull it off. Just say, oh, yeah, I'm going to get you your money. Oh, yeah, I'm going to pay you your money. No, you're not going to pay him his money. But the problem is, Lee Daniels, we know you had $2 million. just pay the man back. I think you're in a better position right now than Dame Dash. And I think if Dame Dash didn't really need the money, he probably wouldn't have come at you like that. So you know the guy really needs the money. And newsflash to all celebrities, if you want to give out your money, give it as a gift. Let the person have it. But if you say it's a loan, just don't give it to them because you're probably not going to get it back. So unfortunately right now, Lee Daniels in a bad position. Pay the man his money. But for now, you do have to get the clown of the week.
You're the clown of the week, and I'm not letting anyone borrow $2 million.
Absolutely. That's a lot of money. I don't care how rich you are. That's a lot of money. I don't care.
That's a lot of money. You're on notice. You can't have $2 million. My clown of the week is a West Virginia man named Reginald Scott Lee. We know in the news has been the story of the Redhead restaurant in Lexington, Virginia, who refused service to the White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders. Since then, there have been growing protests and outrage outside of the restaurant where people have been protesting the fact that they wouldn't serve Sarah Sanders. Reginald Scott Lee, who is 51 years old, took this protest to the next level when he was accused of and charged with littering and disorderly conduct after allegedly throwing chicken feces outside the Red Hen in Lexington, Virginia. Police said that Reginald yelled, "Make America Great Again," when he threw the poop at the restaurant, and he was arrested. So my clown of the week for Reginald Scott Lee is you. Don't throw chicken poop anywhere.
That's disgusting.
Certainly do not think that throwing chicken poop will make America great again.
People are crazy over this MAGA stuff, man. It's absolutely insane. Is he really think that's going to make America great again?
I don't know, but now he's going to be arrested for throwing chicken poop, and that makes him a clown.
It's pretty funny, though.
It's ridiculous. So let's wrap it up, B.Hun. We got to go.
That was a good episode. Sorry to fans. Actually, I'm not really sorry because we try to keep it to an hour, but sometimes a lot goes on. We had a lot to get off our chest, so I thought it was a great episode, B.
I did too.
Absolutely.
Here's to 51 more.
Here's the 51 more. So we do have to get out of here. Quick announcement. I will have a special interview. I will not name who it is yet. It's an awesome guest. We're going to have it for next week since next Wednesday is the 4th of July. So B and I will be off an actual new episode. We're actually going to have a special interview that will be recorded this weekend that will play for next week. You're going to be very excited for that. So we got that coming up. But before we get out of here, B, anything else you want to say to the fans?
We want to make sure everyone knows where to find us on social media, as we told you at the beginning of the episode. And also know that you can find us on 24/7 Live Culture with a lot of other podcasts and great content. You can also hear us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wild Dogs Radio.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you guys listening to us, keeping us the #1 podcast in Chicago. It's been a great ride. We got a lot more to come. So hopefully you enjoyed the interview with DJ Willis. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. And we got a lot more coming next week. So make sure to check us out on social media. Leave our ideas for show Be Your Business. That will be back as well. And I think that's it, right, B?
That's it. Hope everyone has a great week and a great 4th of July.
Absolutely. So we love you all. Thank you, Chicago. This is B.Hun B.Chan, Alternative Facts Chicago. This is episode 51, and we are out.
We're out.